Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural Transfer Flow live stream. I'm Patrick Van Straten. I'm going to be your host this evening, and I'm joined by Neel Scheller. How are you doing, Neel?
I'm doing amazing, Patrick. I've had exciting events happen in my life earlier
Mm-hmm.
today, so this game cannot ruin the day.
Okay. Yeah. So you've handed in your last. By the way, every week I'm just like I know how to say Neil's name, and then every week I wing it in a way that it's just like I think like basically like my white guy brain takes over, and I'm like
Yeah,
I
you're
know how
like
to say it.
halfway. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You're like halfway between like knows how to say it and white guy default.
Is
So
that
like,
worse than just not knowing at all?
no, like in my heart, I know that you know it.
Mm. And that's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Exactly. That's what
I want
matters.
to get it right. Okay,
Exactly.
but more importantly, this was a momentous day for you, Neel. Do you want to tell everybody why?
Yes, I just handed in my last ever submission before graduating with my bachelor's degree. So none of that anymore in my life.
Wow. Well, you're not gonna do masters, not gonna do doctorate.
Okay, I might do some of that, but no more bachelors. So
Great.
we'll figure out the rest later. Do not ask me
Mm-hmm.
right now.
So when do you find out results? When's graduation?
I graduate on Monday.
Oh,
My results are after. So like it's a provisional graduation. I like the likelihood of me failing is pretty low,
they can't
but
rescind it though. Like there's a
they
guy
can.
there. There's a guy
They
there
they
who
they
when you
have
throw
done it.
when you throw your hat in the air, they shoot it out of the
Bring it back. Can't it?
failure for you. No, that's
Yeah,
great, man.
they've done that before
Congratulations.
actually. So yeah, thank you. Hopefully it won't be me.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. Have you got plans to celebrate? Like, what are you gonna do? You're obviously gonna come and stay in my loft for the World Cup. We've already agreed this. You can nanny my kids in return. That's fine. If
That's
you could
fine.
get my
Okay.
kids interested in football, that would actually be great.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's like my one superpower, getting people
Mm,
interested in food. But like that's
yeah,
it's not long term interest. To be fair, like I force them to be interested while I am there, because like
yeah.
that's all I'm doing or talking about.
Mm.
So yeah, but I feel like with kids they probably just get sick of it. So I don't think I'd be a good influence.
They don't care for it. I've tried it with my older daughter. Like sometimes, the other day I was like, "Let's watch a film together," and then she was just like not really listening. And so I said, "I'm going to go and put on football," and she immediately came running over and was just like, "No!" And then the baby, I say the baby, she's 2 now. I put on the football the other day, and she toddled over and pointed at the TV screen and said, "I don't want the garden." And I was like, "Yeah, fair enough." The thing is, I was watching an Arsenal game, and I was like, "I don't want this either."
I don't want to see the
Like,
garden either.
I'm on the same page as you, but like, this is my job. Tell Ted. So I mean, look, we've all got our crosses to bear. Are you going to be traveling at all for the World Cup, though?
Definitely not to the US.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm not sure. Maybe I might go to Canada for a week, but
Cool.
maybe we'll see.
Okay.
Uncertain.
Well, everybody in the chat, let us know if you're going to be heading to any World Cup games this summer.
Thoughts
We'd
and
really like to
prayers.
hear about that. We'd like to have some exciting games to look forward to. Look, tonight might be exciting. It's totally possible. And actually, we'll get into the two teams a little bit more in a couple of minutes. Neel is kind of our resident Atleti expert right now. You may have caught his article on Atleti published on the Transfer Flow yesterday, I think.
Yep. Yep.
So if you haven't read that, then you've got 6 minutes before kickoff now, and you can and if you just quote stuff from it, then we'll take it as your own insight and treat you as a very knowledgeable football watcher. um I don't know what else we've got to get into before the game, though. Like last night's game, I guess, is maybe something we should talk about, seeing as it was, I don't know, there have been 2 or 3 games this season where I've gone on Twitter afterwards and people have said that's one of the best games I've ever seen. There was the was it Bayern? Was it Bayern Barca before, or PSG Barca? What one of those games before Christmas was absolutely phenomenal. One of the flick games. I think it was
Right.
Bayern. Um, and then obviously Atleti Barca as well
Yeah.
was up there too.
Pretty good
And
game.
last night felt kind of like it blew them all away. Like last night is one of the greatest games I've ever seen for on entertainment value, certainly, and individual quality, I guess, as well.
Yeah, definitely attacking quality. Yeah, and I think the other thing that, I mean, it wasn't completely insane in terms of, it wasn't like they all had 20 shots each
Yeah.
and 9 goals. It was actually just unbelievable finishing, and like you say, generally like high quality skill and attack. But it was interesting. There were kind of different phases. Obviously neither team able to establish a great deal of control at any point, and that's obviously what made it such an open and exciting game. Yeah, I mean, like from a, a viewership standpoint, I think we can't possibly complain about anything. I think it was interesting, post match, both the coaches as well were like, yeah, that was pretty good. More of the same next week. So
Mhm.
I think the other thing with that was like we were all building up to this game being super exciting. Like we were all
Yeah.
expecting this would be a barnstormer, and like it still exceeded expectations. So I think that's what made it pretty special.
Yeah, and I think an interesting thing about it is that I guess the way it's been talked about afterwards. Like I think we can get into this at some point as well, but obviously it does kind of feel at the moment like we weirdly we've now got this idea that there's modern football, which is kind of the football we're expecting to watch tonight, strangely. That's the football that feels in the past it would have been decried as like 90s football or something,
Yeah,
but like pump it long, defend in numbers, like kind of negative anti-football. And
yeah.
then there's throwback football, the beautiful game,
Twenty
jogo bonito, like where it's just like these guys, like they just go out there and express themselves. And actually I think there's a lot that's wrong with that particular idea. But part of what's wrong with it, I think, is that it almost does a bit of a disservice to Luis Enrique and Vincent Company, because it kind of implies that they're just like, just go out there and have fun, guys. And actually, when you think about what those two teams are good at, contesting the midfield and trying to create lots of chances and accepting that you are not set up to keep out elite teams defensively by sitting off without the ball, that's kind of the rational decision for those teams, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's definitely not. Um, I mean, one of the ways I thought of it was like this is the highest order of Bosch ball. So it's
Mhm.
it's it's
Yeah.
not pure vibes ball. Like
Yeah.
they're doing something. There's some ideas there, and yeah, with both teams, I think there's obviously clearly an intention to open up the middle, feed the forwards into space, get them running at the defense. And I think interestingly as well, I think it was Company at the end of the match who was saying that, like, he was essentially implying there's no in between. Like there's either the all out attacking football which you played, or you be more conservative. And he said something to the effect of, with teams of this quality you can't have that in between. And
Mm.
like that I found a bit, I mean, I personally didn't buy that, because I think, like, yeah, when you're 5-2 up, I think there is an in between where you pump the brakes a bit,
Yeah.
tighten up, and try to see it out. So I definitely think like there's obviously some issues or flaws as well within the. I mean, that's why you get 9 goals. But yeah, it's definitely not a case of like vibes ball. It was. I mean, there's some very interesting tactical things in terms of how they were trying to, especially Bayern trying to create second balls in midfield. PSG, even the way they dropped back into a low block and looked to counter with Dembele, staying high, the wingers joining him. How Due, especially in the first half, was drifting around, creating overloads, and then Hakimi making those late forward
Mhm.
runs. So a lot of interesting tactical details, and we'll see much more of that, I think, in the second leg as well. So yeah, I think I mean, extremely reductive to think that it was just players having fun. I mean, they were having fun, but there was a lot more behind the fun.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we've got a comment here from I don't even know how to say your name, bro, but Wok LZ Football, who says you can also defend a corner with the smallest player scoring and it not be down to attacking more. I think he's basically saying like, yeah, there are ways to make this game less insane without actually having to play more defensively. You can just do less insane stuff. Like, and I think, and marking up on corners could be one of those things. But as you say, it was like 4xG all in. Like, no one really cares about the XG, but it's interesting to point out that there wasn't a load of amazing finishing in this game. 4xG, of which 1.5 is penalties. But yeah, as time went on as well, it was, in the second half, you see Bayern knowing that they need to get back into the game. So they send Olise into the middle so that he can combine with Musiala, who was actually really quite quiet. And obviously the idea was then we'll have this technical overload, but that then gives you less strength to track back on the wings. We'll come back to that in a minute. The game is building up. We're going to see it starting soon. My stream is exceptionally laggy. So I'm watching like kind of claymation.
You're not going to miss much.
I'm watching
You're
like
not gonna miss
Wallace
much.
Wallace and Gromit, Martin Odegaard, like meeting Cookie before kickoff. But it's but Martin Raffelt from Spielverlagerung was kind of saying a similar thing though to the Luis Enrique thing, where he was saying teams try and go more defensive against these sides and they end up with 20% possession and they still concede 3 goals. So maybe, the future of football does look like this, where you actually do try and just score more and you say, well, we're willing to give up X number of goals so long as we think we can score Y number of goals, which is like one more.
X+1. Yeah.
I don't know how much I believe in that. Like, I think there are defensive solutions like for these teams, and I don't think the way that, so for example, I found myself thinking the PSG of last year or even the Arsenal of like October time, which could take the ball and move up the field against you as they did against Bayern, but were also perfectly comfortable defending, in say a deep or mid block without the ball. Like I thought, is it not possible that is a better blend against these teams? Even some of the intersides that we've seen in the past have had moments where they've done this,
Yeah, I think Inter are a great example, especially like the Champions League winning or Champions League finalists with Inzaghi. The way they can both defend really solidly and also when need be commit big numbers forward, really hammer down a low block and find ways through. I mean that's but I do also still, I mean, the kind of the idea you were saying about we'll just score more than opponents. Well, the game started, so let's hope either of these teams think remotely about scoring a goal. But that idea was kind of what I was hoping to see from Liverpool at the start of the season,
Yeah.
based on what they sort of put together. But in the end, I think they simply didn't have the depth defensively to be able to play games like these for a full season, right? So I think that's probably what dissuaded them from doing that. But yeah, I think it is well, it is definitely a school of thought. How sort of viable is it? I mean, I don't think that's necessarily the best way to compete at the highest level. But yeah, I think I mean, I'm not going to complain when I see it, right? And that's kind of why I love Peter Bosch so much. It's because like that is the pure entertainment that you love to see. So from that perspective, yeah, fun to watch. Not always the best in terms of results, but I mean, I'll gladly watch it.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we should mention that the game has started, and
There's a football match.
and a slip from Hincapié gave Atleti a chance to go through early on. Obviously, his recovery pace kind of was able to get back there. I think we'd expect Atleti to start this game pressing fairly hard. It does feel like at least a little stretch of it is something that we would normally get from Atleti at the beginning of a big game like this. And, if they've been watching Arsenal at all over the last few weeks, then they'll know that Arsenal will struggle to build up if they've got pressure put on them. Plus, the lineup that we've seen tonight, it's Arsenal again running out this Madueke, Gyökeres, Martinelli front three, which we have not seen play particularly well over previous weeks, in combination, of course, with Piero Hincapié, who is, maybe the best defensive fullback on the left-hand side, but is not really somebody who's going to get forward and make a difference in the final third. He's not the ideal combiner with Martinelli. Looking at the lineups, were you surprised to see Arsenal go for those guys and not say, you know what, we can actually try and dominate the ball away at the Wanda?
I mean, I think they were always going to err on the side of caution, and go ahead with a tried and tested formula. I mean, certainly when you think about the forwards, like obviously, I think a fully fit Saka would definitely have started, but That's, I think, simply a fitness question, and obviously with the second leg like being there, the idea is obviously to preserve him for that game. So I think that's kind of that. Um, yeah, I mean, like obviously there's options with on the left, between like
Mhm.
Eze, Trossard potentially, but I mean, I wonder if they're going for Martinelli because they know that sort of Atleti are going to have like dropping back. They're going to have a back five, like Simeone is going to drop
Mm.
back, and so like there'll be numbers. So you just want to attack maybe a bit more quicker, a bit more direct, and obviously Martinelli can give you some running. Um, Now, how much of that they'll actually try to use is a different question, but
Yeah.
maybe like I mean, whenever I see a Martinelli start, that's usually what I think the idea is. But
Mhm.
it's not kind of been implemented too much lately, of course. But well, let's see today. If I mean, like Atleti's defense on the whole certainly hasn't been super solid throughout the season. So
Yeah.
there's definitely merit in trying to test it in different ways. But how much of that will happen?
There are some benefits, I guess, to having Martinelli and even Gyökeres in that front three. In that, you do maintain an outlet threat. You do also have a kind of defensive floor on the team. Like those guys are going to work super hard out of possession. They're gonna like try and push back the opponents defensively. Like that is a benefit. I think that right now it's difficult to know how close to full fitness the players on the bench are. And I do think that Arteta will quite often pick the guys who he thinks are going to be providing the out of possession stuff first of all, and then he starts thinking about maybe combinations on the pitch. And that might be why we've had so many issues over the course of the season with the way that he's balanced his attack. Atleti dominating the ball early on here. Arsenal kind of looking like they're slipping and sliding a bit, which actually we've seen quite a lot of the wonder this season. Obviously you wrote that profile on Atleti, and the big kind of headline of it was maybe this is the summer that they need to finally move on from Diego Simeone. For people who haven't been paying that much attention to Atleti, why is it that that might be a good time to make the change?
Yeah, I mean, so his contract runs till current contract runs till 2027. So yeah, I mean, you can maybe even see it out, but I definitely think it's time to look for alternatives, because Atleti over the last couple of windows, they've invested massively, over 200 million euros on like attackers alone, and they are sort of revamping the squad in a way which puts more emphasis on the attack. They've got obviously quality players, youngsters. I mean, Julian Alvarez being one. Yeah, that's a pretty good chance.
There's a
Um,
pretty good chance.
and they've not also, I would say, replaced all of their elite defenders, and so exactly this kind of a chance, right? So like someone breaching into the box, past two people, putting a cross in, two people at the back post being able to attack it. Like you would rarely see this from Atleti 5 odd years ago.
Yeah.
So this, like in the box, they would just be ultra solid, ultra defense, ultra disciplined, which they aren't anymore. And I think that is in no small part down to player quality and the fact that, for instance, there isn't someone like a Godin in the back line.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I think the way the squad is evolving, it seems you want someone who's more comfortable coaching a more possession based style. And in fact, so like their
Yeah.
possession numbers have gone up, right?
Yeah.
um but I mean, let's see today, but like usually they don't show great deal of ideas, especially against deeper blocks. I mean, they're quite good in transition, obviously have the sort of player quality as well for it, but when it comes to like consistent creation patterns or even controlling the game through possession, they aren't necessarily the best at those things. And I feel the way the squad is evolving, you could get a coach who focuses more on those aspects. Um, and obviously, like you are going to have to move on from Simeone at some point, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like he's going to get old. He's getting old. In fact, and he also costs like 30 million a year, which is significant money. Like, that is an amount, almost double of even the next best paid coach, and like
Mm.
definitely something which makes a big impact on your wage budget, and generally your budget for the year. You can reinvest that money in other places. So all things considered, and on top of that, there's the fact that there's potential candidates available. I mean, I've spoken about Felipe Luis on the podcast before, and I think he sort of has all the ingredients you could want for a Simeone successor,
Yeah.
given his history at the club, having
Yeah.
played under Simeone for so long, and also the sort of tactical elements of what I was saying about being able to coach a more sort of control and possession based style. I mean, he still needs his UEFA Pro license, so I think the best sort of arrangement could be to like prepare to bring him in 2027, so that he can do his pro license over the next year, and then sort of phase Simeone out.
Mm.
Um, Whether that happens or not, I guess we'll see. I mean, we should also say, so Atleti now have like new majority ownership with Apollo Sports Capital. I think just taking the majority ownership towards the end of last year, earlier this year. Haven't changed any of the sort of board or anything so far, but like this is going to be their first sort of big decision under them, and obviously they have been
Yeah.
investing money. So I wonder if all of that comes together, and maybe makes this the time they choose to move on.
Yeah, I think this is something that we haven't really seen that much this season, like any evolution of like the ideas in possession. And it'll be interesting to see how they manage it here tonight. We're seeing some underlaps like early on. Like this is kind of something
I spot an underline.
this is something that like they might try and do. But this is a really interesting test for Atleti because they're coming up against a team that is going to be more conservative, more defensive. That's actually right now giving them 2/3 of the ball. Okay, we're only 10 minutes in, but Atleti have had 2/3 of the ball so far. On the other hand, one interesting thing just now was when Gabriel got the ball from Raya and was able to just run pretty much all the way to the halfway line. That kind of free ball progression for a centre back is something we don't really see in the Premier League very much. And Arsenal actually got that against Leverkusen as well, but weren't really able to make anything of it. Do you think, like, what do you think about that? Do you think it's kind of do you think it's dangerous when Arsenal do have Odegaard back now? Or given the front line they've got, maybe Atleti are content to let Arsenal push up on them. They plug all the holes at the back with bodies and say, we're going to go back to the countering thing. As Sleepy Sake says in our comments, it feels like after the initial press, Atleti is sitting back and playing on the counter here. They would much prefer to do that if they can, you'd have thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they have been pressing higher on the whole, like over the league season, and things like that. But certainly for the big games, especially I think a Champions League semi-final, they will again err on the side of caution. And like you say as well, the Arsenal forwards, I mean, both Madueke and Martinelli, the wingers, as well as Gyökeres, of course, all of them can be dangerous in transition in space. And I think their idea very simply is, I mean, as you saw for that last half a minute kind of sequence, we drop back like 5-4-1 low block. Simeone drops back, Griezmann drops back. We plug the middle. You can sort of circulate in that sort of outer U kind of shape. And yeah, we sort of defend those kinds of balls. The one they just tried, I think, to Gyökeres. We don't let any of those like central balls go through. You can play on the outside however much you want. We have our numbers back, and then let's see what you can do. So I think that's definitely going to be the approach from them today. I think this is going to be interesting to see the Atleti build up against Arsenal, because Arsenal are trying a bit of a press here, but Atleti do have good ideas exactly to sort of get out. I mean, I think they're one of the best teams against Barcelona's high line. Obviously, Arsenal are doing quite something like that. But they can threaten with those like outlet balls to the forwards, and they have sort of consistent patterns for them. So I think that will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, and here, I mean, this is pretty scrappy stuff. Arsenal looking a little bit worried around their box there. The interesting thing is of course funneling Arsenal over to the left hand side is something that teams have done in the Premier League to pretty good effect. Here, it seems to be it only works if you can actually like stop Gabriel and Hincapié having easy balls from the left-hand side. And there was that ball there. Okay, it was well dealt with in the end, but Gyökeres could have gotten the end of it. Again, Gabriel able to power through. Atleti really need to, if they're going to let those guys have time and space to pick passes, I'm completely fine with that. But you've got to make it harder for them than they have been making it early on. On the other hand, Arsenal are looking a little bit shaky here, a little bit worried. And just then we had Saliba winning that header 1-on-1. Okay, you expect Saliba to win it, but Atleti had a few guys mopping up afterwards, and only one of those really needs to go wrong, or you get a slip, such as you did in the Spurs game, and it's a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's going to be definitely one of Atleti's key ideas. Just consistently kind of testing those defenders in those like pressure moments. And yeah, you can see like they tend to do this as well quite a bit. So they'll bait the press a bit, play these quick short passes, and yeah, now they'll sort of soon look for an outlet ball if they can. There we go. They switched it to the other side, and Arsenal have to drop back in this case. They have the numbers, so it's like relatively fine, but still you can see them sort of getting good progression down the left wing, and the shooting chance. Oh,
goodness me!
Close chance. So
twisting and turning on the edge of the box there from Alvarez, gets the shot away, but saved. Yeah, and again, this is this was Arsenal not being able to shuffle over fast enough, right? They were over.
Exactly.
They were pushing over to the left, and then it moved over to the right too quickly. Were you surprised to see Cardozo starting in this game as well? He's a bit of a surprise inclusion. He's a transfer we did not like at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I mean, like, to be fair, I think him starting is more just a case of the options, because obviously Pablo Barrios is out injured. I think on the bench they basically, who do they have? They have like Obed Vargas and Rodrigo Mendoza. So all younger, relatively less proven guys. I mean, obviously Cardoso as well is only 24 himself. But I think I mean, at least I think they hope to get the. Oh, there's a
getting into the box.
Ooh,
blocked shot, and Atleti managed to get it away. Chance to counter here through Lookman.
Yeah, there's another thing. You'll see Lookman, ever since he's come in, he tends to like cheat quite high, especially on the far side. So he's not going to track back nearly as much as Simeone. He can even sometimes stay alongside the striker, and he'll often be the outlet for these sort of counters. So I think that'll be another thing to watch tonight. But yeah, coming back to, I think, Cardoso, I think the idea is just the sort of solidity he provides. I mean, it'll be sort of simple circulation on the ball like that, and then defensively, just the positional discipline is what you want from him. So I imagine that's the idea there. And of course, yeah, like with Barrios has been injured for a while, so I think he's a miss in terms of, again, those like in possession qualities, and maybe a bit of injection of creativity, or certainly incision through the middle. Yeah, but Barrios gives you more of that than the other options.
Who do you think then are the players to watch in this 11? We've got this question in the chat. Obviously there is Griezmann, there's Alvarez. You've talked about Simeone as a really interesting kind of third man runner for them, but is Lookman kind of the danger man here for Arsenal to keep an eye on? It's interesting actually that he's on the left hand side, because Arsenal's right hand side is really, you look at the lineup here and you're like, that's the one that actually feels like it's got attacking balance in it and is less defensive. But White might be scared of pushing up if he knows that Lookman is going to sit behind him.
Yeah, I think with sort of Atleti have this, I would say, almost default type setup now at this stage of the season, where Simeone is kind of their first choice right winger, and they're very used to this setup where he drops into the back five, the rest of them shift across, like Llorente becomes the sort of right-sided centre back in a three, Pubil goes in the middle, or whoever's there, and Hanchko goes to the left. So I think sort of switching all of that over, and so certainly like what you get out of Lookman is not a great deal of, let's say, running intensity, up and down the wing, which Simeone provides, right? Simeone gives you, I mean, that's one of the best things he provides. So I think Simeone has to be the one doing that, and he's certainly more comfortable off the right with his movements as well, right? His sort of runs from out to in, this sort of third person runs, as you were saying. And Lookman as well is a more effective dribbler of that left side. And then there's also the other thing. So like with the right winger dropping back, you get Griezmann dropping back on the right into that midfield four, which is again the sort of natural position for him as opposed to the left. So I think it's just kind of their default setup that they're sticking with. And ultimately, the idea is, of course, that they've got the five across the back. So Ruggeri will be able to closely track Madueke without having to worry about anything else. The secondary runners, you have Hansko to deal with, sort of like that situation we just saw. So it's just kind of sticking to that setup and making it work, because Arsenal, yeah, I mean, they usually aren't going to commit six people forward. I mean, certainly in this kind of a game. So you don't have a risk of an overload when you've got that five at the back. And I think that's basically the idea for Atleti.
And then somebody has mentioned that Sorloth has been a handful coming off the bench, especially against Barcelona. That is a different challenge for these defenders to face late in games, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, you see him in those kinds of situations we just saw a few moments ago, where Arsenal's defenders had to, face those one-on-one challenges against long balls. And like right now, it's Alvarez and Griezmann, and Alvarez, of course, is a good runner, but neither of them are, particularly physically super strong. But Sherlock, when he comes on, he's a physical handful, and obviously Arsenal centre backs are super strong, but it is a very different kind of challenge. Maybe a less sort of movement and like intensity of running, but much more physical contact and sort of dueling.
Yeah.
So he like the defenders, the centre backs have to switch very quickly when he comes on, and obviously he's a presence in the box as well. So if you want to send crosses his way, he's going to be there for them. So yeah, he's offered a good option. I mean, it works both ways, right? Either with him starting and then Griezmann coming on and adding those technical qualities, or Griezmann starting and Sörloth coming in and adding the physicality. So Atleti do again, and that kind of goes back to all their investment in the attack and all of that. Is that now they do have these sort of different options, the ways to slightly tweak things, and that's what they've been using to good effect, I think, in these in the Champions League so far.
Going back to the game, though, again, some people I see in the chat are saying that you want us to talk more about the game, and others less, more about the preview and stuff. I think we need your opinions on what you want to hear us talk about. But realistically, if you want just a commentary on the game, then you can get that anywhere. You don't really need to get it here.
He has passed the ball sideways.
Yes, exactly. Like a corner is about to happen, guys. Everybody, a corner is about to happen.
Let's go. We should say Atleti are one of I think they're fifth worst in La Liga against corners this season. So let's see how this goes.
Yeah. So here, fairly aimless cross into the box. Though numbers in there, but just kind of like clip floated ball into the box. I guess it's a 2-on-2 at the back stick. And Madueke is actually fairly handy in the air for a winger. Gyökeres is fairly bad in the air for anyone.
But he's there.
For a footballer. Yeah, he is also there. And he is hard to get round. Like he's a big guy.
He's a good obstacle.
Somebody before was asking for my opinion on Gyökeres and who my favorite Arsenal player is. Look, Gyökeres, I kind of think that he's been towards the bottom of the range we expected. I wasn't overwhelmed with delight about the signing. And I think the hope was that maybe he could at least he's really struggled to get shot volume. Like that to me is the thing with him. I know that there are always these fail comps of his interplay. That doesn't bother me that much because I didn't really expect much there. He's been better defensively than I thought, but I think athletically, I think we had reason to hope that he'd be a bit faster versus elite defenders than he has shown himself to be. And obviously you would want some shot volume out of him, and you just haven't got it this season. At the same time, I do think there are reasonable claims that, like, do Arsenal give him the service that's best for him? Probably not. Do Arsenal really give anyone great service? Not really. Arsenal have also had a really mix and match attack pretty much the whole season. We've seen very few runs of consistent lineups. Obviously he's basically played with Odegaard very little. He's played with Saka not that much. He's played with both of those at the same time at a vanishingly small rate. So we've often seen him have to play with Martinelli and Madueke and stuff. And I quite often think when those three start together, to then criticize Gyökeres afterwards, like, okay, there are always things he could do better, but I kind of think that his technical defects are less of an issue if the side is more technically secure. And actually, the technical security of the side as a whole has been pretty bad lately. So if you want to platform this sort of forward, you need to be able to make up for their shortcomings. And so while I do not think he's been good exactly, I do think that Arsenal kind of have themselves to blame for him not setting the world on fire. I don't know how you feel about that, Neel. I mean, like he's not very good. He's not a total scrub. Like he gets goals. To get goals against teams in the bottom and middle of the Premier League is great. And he actually got a couple of goals against Atletico Madrid before. If he gets another couple of goals against them, everyone will be very happy. But what's the outsider's perspective on this?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that was a bad corner. But
Yeah,
I
really
think
bad corner. Very low, easily cleared.
like, what are
And
we
we're
doing,
back.
guys?
We're back
This is
to
what we came for.
throws.
This is what we came for. But yeah,
This is top stuff.
as for Gyökeres, yeah, I mean, I do am like underwhelmed. I think especially the point about shot volume. Yeah, I think, and especially what we'd seen, at Sporting with his ability to sort of get at least some shots for himself off carries. Obviously, it's a very different sort of environment in the Premier League. Much tougher defenses, better defenders, less spaces, all of that. Yes, but still, you would hope. I mean, there's been many of these situations, right, where he does receive the ball and knocks it forward, but then gets tackled. Isn't quite quick enough to get to the ball first and get the shot off. So yeah, I think shot volume in general definitely disappointment. Generally, like you say, like box press. I mean, box sort of threat in those kind of situations. Yeah, also disappointing. But also, yeah,
Yeah.
like this Madueke, Gyökeres, Martinelli front three. It's almost like they're all like doing it solo, but there's like no harmony between any of them. And yeah, that's in no small part also just down to the sort of profiles they are.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not good for the striker who needs some service. And then again, like with Odegaard as well not being available, I mean, there's limited service from midfield. So yeah, like what can he do in that sense is also a fair question. On the whole, yeah, I mean, I definitely think there is a lot of value in having a striker who can reliably score goals against mid and lower table teams.
Yeah.
Like, if obviously Havertz's injury
Yeah.
issues are a separate matter.
If you also have a striker who can score goals
Exactly.
against good
If you
teams.
had a fit Havertz, I think you value Gyökeres a lot more
Yes,
in
agreed.
terms of him being able to rotate with Havertz on the right kind of days and matches and keeping Havertz ready for these games. And I think all of this ties back into like yesterday's match and what we were discussing earlier. Is of course the fact that PSG and Bayern were able to like go hammer and tongs at it because many of their star players did not have a lot of minutes in their legs.
Yeah.
Certainly, like aren't nearly as shattered as the Arsenal players look after every single game almost at this point. So that's obviously a huge factor to keep in mind. And I think guys like Gyökeres, okay, he's not going to be the like superstar key striker or number one striker who gets all the big goals in the big games for you. He can still be valuable if you have the other sort of like reliable, consistently available options around him. I think he does have a value to offer, but you have to sort of synthesize it with the rest of not just the attackers on the pitch, but also how you manage the squad and what you have in the squad.
Yeah, I think there are some interesting points in the chat here as well. Camborghini 96 shot numbers are so hard to come by in the Prem too. And I think that's definitely true as well.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if Arsenal are willing to play at a higher tempo, whether it's because they don't win the league this season and they think, okay, the grind's not going to work, or because they do win the league and they're like, okay, handbrake's off. It would be interesting to see if higher tempo yields a little bit more for him. It'd be interesting to see whether Arteta thinks what they did this season is a kind of like practical approach to a very physical league now, or if he decides to try and do what we've seen from Pep this season, which is the the kind of central technical overload. You can't really replicate having a Cherki in your side or having a Doku in your side, but the general idea you could maybe try and copy that. I mean, hear people talk about Arsenal needing a difference maker in the attack. I think that's fair. Arsenal need a winger who can make something out of nothing. Saka was always Arsenal's X factor, and with him not being healthy recently, they've lacked in attacking incisiveness. I mean, I do think it's definitely true that the story of Arsenal's attacking troubles this season is the story of Saka not being fit and Odegaard not being fit. Like I think it is basically as simple as that. Header there going over. I mean, it's a header from about 13, 14 yards out there from Julian Alvarez, so not huge danger. But at the same time, when somebody says Arsenal need a winger who can make something out of nothing, I do look at that and
everyone
think,
needs a winger who can do something out of nothing.
Yeah, and you think, but what happens when you may have that winger, but he's not going to make something out of nothing every single game. Like, that's simply not possible. Again, as you said there, PSG, one of the reasons that we see those players perform to this level in the Champions League is because some of them have barely played. And because they've barely played, they come on, they're super fit. You've got 4 of the guys, they've had 1,400 minutes. Like, you've now got a situation where if you look at the most used players at PSG, none of the forwards are in the kind of top 7 or 8, I think. And the 2 key fullbacks are not in that group either. That kind of stuff really does make the difference at this stage of the season. And if Arsenal had been fit all season or been fitter, then I would expect we would see a better team. That is not to say that there aren't like tactical issues and stuff going on here, right? Somebody's asking about, whether Arteta's unwillingness to rotate will be the reason they don't win a trophy.
I mean, he's definitely done a much better job this season.
Woo! Big hit from Noni Madueke. They're coming inside, riding a couple of challenges. I mean, at the same time, it is a long, long way out. Looked like Oblak maybe had it covered, but
that's what we're getting today.
But he's in the side. This is. But again, okay, I know I just asked you a question, but somebody did ask about Madueke here and why we seem to see a much more dangerous Madueke last season at Chelsea. And the two do feel like two sides of the same question, right? Like, how do Arsenal platform their wingers? And is it a kind of individual thing, or is it a team effects thing, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a significant element of the team effects, and we've been discussing this, I think, lately, especially as well, is the way, I mean, we've seen this already a fair bit in this match so far. I mean, in this particular instance right now, Martinelli's come inside, but that rarely ever happens, right? He'd be where Hincapié is. I mean, Madueke is where he is. And when you're in these positions against this kind of a low block, and you don't have an amazing amount of support, like what I have is in most cases in Gyökeres, just a guy in the box, but not even a super like threatening presence. And then in terms of like surrounding runners, you maybe have like a fullback underlapping, but in most cases you don't even have a very creative passer in Odegaard. You are already quite limited between your starting position and the lack of support around you to be able to like make something out of that, right? Like to be able to receive the ball where Madueke just has right now, and do anything, it requires like genuinely best of the best level talent, right? Like you need Messi there, basically. You need prime Messi to consistently get you something, right? So I think in that sense, what can they do? With that said, there's obviously also an element of, especially I think guys like Martinelli, who do get into good positions consistently, but then aren't consistent in going from there to producing output. So I think it's definitely again some elements of both, but on the whole, I would in this regard like to see some tactical like tweaks or developments from Arsenal in how they support their wingers, because ultimately you have to make do with what you have in the squad, and you cannot be like, listen, Martinelli, we're passing the ball to you like on the byline with 2 defenders in front of you. please create a chance. Like, that's not a very clever approach. So I would like to see more in terms of uh, maybe also like midfielders, even when they have someone like let's say Rice in there, not doing things like that, but making more of those forward runs, and I think to an extent, even this kind of things Atleti do, right? Like we've seen in this game, Atleti, when they get in the final third, they and aren't sort of immediately looking to threaten. They are playing those like quick passes into the like tight central areas just to try and sort of lure Arsenal in one way,
Yeah.
just to manipulate the block a little bit and create maybe so kind of like that sequence. Obviously, the pass did come off, but create a bit of space where maybe someone can run in and make something happen. I think with Arsenal, we still see a lack of some lack of I think intent, and definitely a lack of risk taking in the final third, and I think that's definitely something you would like to see change.
Yeah, I really it, it feels like somebody like Calafiori is so helpful for this team, and Lewis Skelly in a different way, because Lewis Skelly is
Yeah,
so kind of unpredictable at driving through space and does have the ability to slip those passes through. And Calafiori, because he's willing to make the surprising run that you're kind of talking about from Rice there. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, you also look at some of the fullbacks that team better attacking teams play, and it's not like those fullbacks. Like you look at Bayern's fullbacks. Okay, when Davies is
yeah.
fit, Davies is an X factor. But when it's Stanisic and Lima, it's not their individual quality in attack that makes them dangerous. It's that you have to mark them. They push up high, they station themselves wide, and that means that the fullbacks have to go out and mark them. Or, they station themselves inside, and that means that you get your winger isolated one-on-one against the fullback. Like this is something that they do in order to get Olise, who also is, a potential Ballon d'Or winner there. But I don't think that Saka's not a million miles away from that kind of player. Like Saka is clearly a special player, even if he's not like had a season of the level that Olise has had this season. Um, I just kind of feel like when we talk about a player, having an amazing season, we quite often don't really think about how the team has contributed to that player having an amazing season. Shot about to come in here. Okay. Oh, there's a trip in the box, and it's a free kick for Arsenal. Tremendous stuff. So I think that sometimes, it's all just like, well, this player hasn't played well this season, and it's not, and or these fullbacks are not good attacking fullbacks, and you're ignoring all the other ways that like the machine combines to make them more dangerous fullbacks in attack.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Bayern is an amazing example because Limer, Stanisic, none of these guys like on their own inspire a great deal of fear or anything among defenders. But as you say, it's their positioning and also it's their movement, right? They have sort of great like develop great partnerships with their wingers, and also it's the dynamism, right? It's not. I think the other thing with Arsenal is, I mean, we do see some changes. So like lately in this game, we've been seeing Nkapia pushing up wide and Martinelli inside, but for the most part, it's wide wingers and fullbacks inside.
Mhm. Yeah.
Not even a great deal of like counter movements, right? It's the wingers are just staying high and wide, and the fullbacks, like maybe if they feel like it, they'll make a forward run sometimes. But Bayern, on the other hand, like even within 5 minutes, you'll see Stanisic like alongside a defensive midfielder for a moment, then him pushing up past Kane. Next moment, he's going wide. Olise's inside. There's these constant interchanges. There's this constant dynamism. And the flip side of that, yes, is that Bayern's rest defense isn't nearly as solid as Arsenal's, and we saw that
Mhm.
yesterday as well. They
Mhm.
gave up many chances on the counters. So I mean, I don't think Arsenal will ever, at least under Arteta, will ever go to that extent. But yeah, I think
No.
there's a balance to be found somewhere there, where you add a bit more dynamism with your fullbacks, uh, and wingers, while keeping a solid structure in the middle, and that would go at least some way towards maybe helping out the wingers a bit. But on the whole, yeah, I think this is very much the sort of framework they're going to be working in. What we're seeing right now, and yeah, that is going to make for games like these. So yeah, sideways passes for the win. That's what we go. That's what we go.
Yeah. Um. Ah. Yeah. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot to be worked on here with Arsenal, which is kind of shocking to think about. at this stage of the season. You know, again, maybe if people had been fitter, we'd have seen a more kind of coherent lineup at this point, or the players might have some of those intuitive understandings of you know, this guy's going to go there and I can make the move there. Like, that is the kind of thing you lose when your team isn't very fit. Interesting couple of moments here for Atleti, I think, where they've been able to pinch the ball high up. It looks like Arsenal are willing to carry out of the back a little bit more against Atleti than we're maybe used to seeing. At the same time, you can understand that, you know, like this is something that we now basically expect at the highest level. Like, you need guys who are willing to dribble or carry, or who are going to exchange lots of quick passes through the middle in order to unsettle teams that are going to go man to man or whatever. On the other hand, you know, you're seeing some of the downside of it here when you don't have the most technically secure guys doing it, which is that Atleti have almost created a couple of big chances through doing it. And here they are on the attack again pinching the ball really high up. And Arsenal get back and get hold of it, playing their way out. Oh, it's kind of nice. It was almost good football there for a moment. Hayden Van Brewer saying painful match as expected. It's great to have you here, Hayden. Somebody else says, who is Atletico's number 5? He's shite.
Let's not watch him on the ball, guys. So I think someone compared him to Paulinho, which is exactly right. Like, he's Atleti's version of Paulinho.
I at least like that. I feel like I am watching these two teams trying to do stuff. I'm not saying they're doing it.
You appreciate the sort of intention.
Well, my concern was that neither team would try and do anything. I thought Atleti would try and do something in spells.
Right.
And Arsenal would maybe try and do I thought Arsenal would try to have, you know, as little of a football match as possible. By the way, there is such a perversity to the players that Arsenal have receiving the ball inside, because I know that we've been saying you don't want to get wingers just receiving the ball all the time on the touchline, faced up with a couple of defenders, completely static, no runners around them. But then I also see like Martinelli receiving the ball in the 10 space, and I think,
hold on.
Like, you know, it's like it's technically addressed my concern, but only technically. So now Arsenal kind of have tried to pin Atleti in against the corner flag here. Completely aimless ball out. Goodness me, dangerous stuff here. It does feel like Arsenal have slowly managed to kind of grind the possession further up. They're now playing the game where they'd expect to play the game. And it'll be interesting to see whether some of those counterattacks that we saw that were so devastating against Barcelona can be quite so effective against a much more sophisticated rest defense. Yeah, I think probably not. Oh, Noni Madueke getting the ball in the box, potentially controlled it with his hand. It's over anyway, it doesn't matter. And now Atleti have a chance for the breakaway. We've got, oh, goodness me. Okay, we've got Simeone. Not Simeone. Griezmann running to the back stick. Oh, picked up in the middle by Julian Alvarez. Oh, and Declan Rice mops it up. David Raya on the ball.
That's the best we're getting today, Patrick. That's what we've got.
I thought I made it sound exciting for a moment there. Oh,
no,
Viktor Gyökeres running against Champions League. Oh, he's lost the ball. He was running. It's like, oh, it's Marcus Ureta. It's only Marcus. Oh, Marcus Ureta. It's fine. God above. Okay, it's just kind of hoofs out from the. Jesus Christ.
Listen, 5 minutes to halftime.
Aimless hoof out the back. Aimless hoof out the back there from Atleti. Looping defensive header from, I think, Gabriel, just went straight up in the air. And Atleti just elected not to try and win it. Oh, Viktor Gyökeres is doing. Oh, it's a pushover in the box. Is it going to be a penalty? Oh, the penalty's been given. Oh my goodness me. Viktor Gyökeres gone down like a sack of potatoes. Yeah. So basically, there. I mean, to be honest, that whole sequence was
comical.
And it's like, that's Atleti's fault. Like, Atleti hoofed the ball out from the back. And then it happened again. Another aimless hoof. Arsenal were able to just win it. It kind of looked like the last 5 minutes of the game here, the way that Atleti wandering around. Alvarez just nods it back. Everybody's on their heels. Odegaard ball around the corner. Zubimendi making the run forwards, which I do think has been a bit of an X factor for Arsenal at times this season. I mean, it's clumsy there, the way that Gyökeres is bundled into, but I just don't think you can give a penalty for that. It having been given, I don't know. I don't really know if you can send the ref to the monitor for that, but it is the Champions League, so he will be sent to the monitor and it'll be overturned. This is the thing. I'm just like, these things shouldn't go to video review, but they will. So I think they'll probably watch it. I don't actually know. I think the ref is currently explaining that Atleti need to play from left to right. And Koke is saying, I've been doing this for ages. That can't be right. And Arsenal saying, no, you don't play left to right. You play up and down.
Sideways.
Yeah, side to side.
You defend that side.
That's the way you do it. And Simeone is just like, I don't know.
I think they're giving it. Are they giving it?
Yeah, Simeone's thinking about the trip to Turkey at the end of the season. The top up that he gets. Okay, Viktor Gyökeres is about to take this penalty against Jan Oblak.
The one thing he's done well is...
All right, well, let's not...
hit penalties really hard.
Bang! He has hit that penalty really fucking hard.
Exactly.
That's 1-0 to Arsenal. That is a huge away goal for Arsenal. Bear in mind that Arsenal, I don't think they've conceded more than 2 goals to any team this season. So if Arsenal are able to get 1 or 2 goals, it will be a long way back for Atleti. If they get to the Champions League final, I expect to see... this fact no longer be in circulation. I mean, I just
listen. 1 goal is more than we could have asked for.
I think that's it's not as soft as the one on Davies last night.
Oh yeah,
but that is. I don't think
that's harsh. That's harsh. Yeah.
If
he almost
got
handed as well. Nope, absolutely not.
Somebody's asked for a fit check as a halftime show. Yeah, you're gonna get that. Yeah,
that's all you, man.
You're not going to do one today, Neel?
No, dude. I literally put on the first thing I found.
Neel, I'm on antibiotics right now. I'm wearing the trousers that make my leg least itchy. It's absolutely miserable. Yeah, so obviously I'm still in Lamine Yamal mode. I'm going to be on antibiotics.
The people don't know. The people haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, if people haven't seen, oh yeah, that's true. It hasn't been released.
Episode hasn't gone out.
When driving at the edge of the box. Oh, working a little bit of space here, Atleti. What's going to happen? Ball's out wide. Ben White shifts across, and it's a terrible header. Yeah. So basically, I believe I've got Lyme disease. Like apparently, I thought I had a really annoying mosquito bite, and then I was like lying in bed the other night, like. My leg feels like it's fucking on fire. And I thought, okay, well, I need to... when did I get this? And I was going back through it in my mind, and I realized I'd had it for a month. So I'd had it for a month. So I went to see the pharmacist, and the pharmacist was like, you should see a doctor. This could be Lyme disease. And I went to see the doctor, and the doctor was like, this is probably Lyme disease. Like, you need to go on antibiotics. So yeah, on the Patreon recording yesterday, gave myself the nickname Lamine Yamal because I did actually do it playing 5-a-side football. Got this tick. So yeah, good times all round. Love to have Lyme disease, my favorite shit. And so frankly, the fact that I'm wearing any clothes and not just like joggers, I think should be a cause for celebration. But yeah, I will give you a little fit check at halftime, and I still got to decide what I'm going to wear to the Transfer Flow conference. Arsenal going long from David Raya. That's what we're here for. Corners, Raya, action. Martinelli receiving in the half space. Through ball to nobody. Half time.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
What a half, man.
Yeah, somebody said here, the Oxford runner says, clumsy tackle. I think it's 50-50 whether it's given. I think it is a clumsy tackle.
It's hardly a tackle as well. Like, I mean, he's kind of run into him more so than even tackling him, I want to say.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not necessarily a defense of the challenge.
Yeah, of course. But yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it, where like you're running back to get in defense. The striker,
guy is there.
The striker sees you coming, stands his ground, kind of backs into you a bit, because Viktor Gyökeres is like, if I have to take a shot from open play, like it's not going to go well. Like It needs to be from the penalty spot. He's basically like a golfer, not a footballer, where he's like off the tee. I'm amazing. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Somebody else says Mario Limina, but that's very good. I was thinking about it in the middle of the night when I was trying not to scratch my leg. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I have no idea. Fit check.
Halftime fit check.
Yamal.
Okay, halftime fit
Yeah.
check. Let me see what I can do here.
Yeah. If I don't even have space to stand up, so like I'm ineligible. Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm wearing the field pants from Earth Studies.
How do you remember where the hell you got these things from, man? I do not know in what year.
Because they were very expensive. and then I'm wearing an Armor Lux, boat neck Mariniere shirt, I guess. And I'm wearing glasses, and I'm wearing socks. You can't see those on the live stream, but obviously subscribe.
Will be good, thank you.
Subscribe to what's it called? WikiFeet for that. And then I'm wearing exceptionally long hair. That's the other part of it.
Good stuff. I remember this now. I got this T-shirt. That's how much you're going to see. I got this T-shirt for about 10 reals of the shop in the corner. I just need a T-shirt. I was like, let's get the easiest one. A list of actually the good halftime activity. Do you want my list of football kits that I'm planning to buy?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let me pull it up. Let's see.
So I also have something to plug during halftime.
Oh yes. Okay. So we've got the Osman Lispor 2016-17 kit. Unfortunately, I have not been able to find this online, but look it up. It's got a lovely sort of pattern. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a circular kind of, or sort of like a curvy pattern. Osman Lispor 2016-17. That's a lovely kit.
2016-17.
Yep.
Let me have a look. See, I'm quite anti-football kit. That is this is the one with the gold thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Kind of looks like it kind of looks like the flooring in like
it does.
It's like the entrance to the mosque. Like that's what the flooring.
Exactly. That's exactly
it looks
what
like the flooring.
That's exactly what it is.
It's pretty cool.
Exactly. It is cool. Yeah. So I usually like want to get kits from places I've gone. So I was going to Melbourne, and I wanted to get a Melbourne Knights kit, but I couldn't. So that's on me. Then, as we've spoken before, I believe the best time to buy any kits from a major international tournament is a minimum of 2 years after the conclusion of the tournament. So after the 2023 Women's World Cup, I want to get the Colombia away kit, which that's a cool kit, and the Germany away kit, at least one of them. That would be good. Then, I want to get the Cape Verde AFCON 2023 kit. I want to get the El Sad 24-25 kit. I will get that before getting out of Qatar. I want to get the look, that it's I mean, look it up. There's like
is this the yellow one?
No, not the yellow one. No.
Is it the peach
it's
one?
Like no, it's the black one.
Oh.
I
Neil,
don't
know what you're looking boring. At. This is boring.
Yeah, no, this one's not special. This one I just want because I want like a kid from a Qatari club. That's why.
I'm sorry, guys. Like for everybody asking for the links in the chat, what do you think this is?
Look it up, man.
I am live Googling these. I'm 36 years old, guys. You're gonna need to Google these. I'm just like, I was literally like, I might get this up on the spare laptop that I have here and show it to you like that. Like that's where we are with this. So I think people might need to look it out. By the way, thank you. To Turkey Kielbasa, who says it's going to check out Earth Studies. Yeah, Earth Studies is very cool, man. So how much? So can I just check? How far through the list are we, Neel?
We're like, yeah, we're mostly done. We just have the Mali 2024 AFCON kit and the Angola 2025 AFCON kit. Yeah,
Angola
2025 AFCON.
Angola 25 AFCON kit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm very anti-kit. Do you just wear them like in normal life?
Yeah, yeah. I'm extremely anti popular club kit. So like,
Sure.
like the only kits I would wear in normal life are ones where people would ask me, "What the hell is that?"
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like, what the hell is the club, not what the hell clothes are you wearing.
Why though? Like, because
Why
because
not?
that's cool, or because it's like that's a
Why not?
conversation starter. By the way,
Yeah, I guess
somebody
it's a
saying Passo the fashion snob. Yeah, bro. Like, sorry, I know more about this shit than you. Like, not going to apologize for being fly. No, it's a yeah, okay, like, but it's just because you don't want to be part of the crowd that just is wearing, whatever Man
Barcelona.
United's latest
Nope.
kit is, or
Nope.
PSG, it's got the jump man on it. Yeah, shut up.
I'm good, thank you. No. Yeah. But yeah, like I think yeah, mostly just to be different, I guess. No, that's probably
Okay.
it.
See, the kits that are on my wish list, insofar as I have one. Somebody's just asked about the South Africa away kit. Sure. It looks a bit like a 2020 kit to me.
This World Cup one.
The green South Africa away.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll be seeing that in 2028.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're not going to pay a designer in between.
Hell no. Listen, £50. That's the most I'm going.
Shout out to the person who's here from Unseen Incidents. Let's hear Neel put something in the burn book. That's an excellent idea for the second half. That's something from my other podcast, Neel. I'll bring it back to that later.
You gotta explain that to me.
See, the only kits that I've ever really wanted, I think at some point one day I will get one of the Venezia ones, the really cool ones. There's the black one that I liked.
Yeah.
There's the obviously both I and my wife are going to get the Curacao away kit for this World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do that, apparently. That's fine.
Amazing.
and there's and a kit I always go back to, and this is because I have a classics degree, but the kit I always go back to is, I think it's 2015-16 Roma away. Do you remember the white one that has a really pale relief map of ancient Rome on it?
I love those.
It's very cool. I've always loved that one. It's always fun when you've got like a kind of inlaid design. So, Mexico had multiple ones that had the Aztec calendar in them. That is incredibly sick, especially because, seeing the Aztec calendar in person when I was 12 was like a really big experience. Like that's really cool. But honestly, like I feel like the football kit as like fashion wear, to me, that's like for hot girls. When I do it, I just kind of look like I haven't made an effort.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yes,
I'm making zero. I mean, this is the maximum effort you're getting out of me is picking a football kit. Otherwise, it will be these 10 real t-shirts.
There's another question here just before I forget, is somebody's asked about Rice 6 and Zubamendi 8 as Arsenal's new go-to. That I think is something that we should come back to in the second half, because I think it's definitely an interesting idea. I'd love to hear everybody's favorite kits in the chat. Are there kits that you have on your to buy list? Do you have a most worn kit? Is there a kit you have that like nobody else has? I always want to get a Zimbabwe kit, right?
Yeah, you should.
But they suck, Neel. Like they're never good.
Aren't they always like yellow half the time?
To be honest, nobody's seen them because they're never going to a major tournament. It's always like,
hey, listen, some of us are tuning into AFCON qualifiers. We've seen them.
But you're the only person. So if I just turned up with a kit that I made myself and I said that it was Zimbabwe's 2017-18 kit, no one would be able to prove otherwise. Like, the new USA kit, Blood Video Company says, are you thinking of the one that looks like the kind of the stars and stripes? Because that one, I find it offensive, but in a way I kind of love. Like if I were an American, I'd be like, fuck yeah. Like I'd be like, I'd be like America. Like so yeah, okay, so yeah, these are actually pretty good. These Zimbabwe kits that are linked here. They're probably fake. They're probably concepts. I feel like that's always the case, right? when you look up a kit and you're like, that's really cool.
That's good. That's not real.
It's a concept, yeah. Somebody here, Rudvan49. I bought a Club America kit just because the sponsors were Coca-Cola and Corona.
Oh,
Never wore it. I was wanting to get who was it who used to have Bimbo as their sponsor? You know, the Bimbo bread.
yeah.
I think it was maybe in like Ecuador or something. Like, there's definitely it was a Latin American team. It wasn't a Spanish team who had Bimbo as their sponsor. And a thing I'm always very keen to say is I was born in Alicante. When I was born there was a factory, a Bimbo factory that made bread. But after I was born, Neel, they closed the Bimbo factory.
Ooh,
I was the last thing they made in the Bimbo factory. Was me. Betis 96-97. Alfie McIntyre says that's a deep cut, my friend.
Wow.
I've got to pull that up.
Impressive. If that's accurate, let's have a look. Is that accurate?
Woof. Oh, the one that says Kelia on it, or the one without. Oh, this is really nice, man. There's something about. I love that the Kappa logo is on all the stripes 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I love that Kappa were like, we're just going to do guerrilla marketing here. This is an amazing idea. Oh my God. And they're on the sleeves. Have you pulled it up, Neel?
Wait, what? Really? No, I saw the ones on the stripes. I can't see the sleeves though in this photo that I have. So yeah, I see it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's like Indian sponsorship deal.
That is absolutely amazing. Like
maximum logo.
I wonder how many times it is on the
yeah, someone could have counted it. Let's see. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
An old school German green kit. I agree. Those are always really, really good.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the kind of 2023 Women's World Cup Germany away kit is exactly that kind of green. It's away kit.
That looks like a Battenberg. I do not remember this at all.
Which tournament is this from?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good grief. Oh my God. Is this the women's kit? Wasn't it the women's kit? Oh no, they had the men's one with the stripes. Yeah, so it's got a big pink stripe at the top and then like narrowing yellow stripes as you go down. I mean, this is horrific, but in a way I really like. It's very like Mr. Blobby, for anybody who remembers that. I don't know if anybody's going to get that. But I do feel like people often used to go for richer colors in the past. Maybe it was because the shirts were made from such shiny material and now they're made from like very advanced tech fabrics.
Yeah.
But when it was the 90s and it was like, this is pure polyester. What are its technical attributes? You can wash it.
Doesn't matter.
It can be tumble dried. And as a result, it was shiny as fuck. So there was the Portugal kit from, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think, was it the 2001? I think it's early. I think it might be 1998. Which is a really deep, 98, 99 Portugal home kit. So this is a really deep, like kind of burgundy color, and then like a bottle green. I love it. I advise people. I had one of these on a holiday when I was, like 9 years old, and I was just like, I'm the coolest person on earth. Fiorentina kit from early 2000s. I think a load of people love the early Fiorentina kits. When you're thinking about the Nintendo ones and stuff as well. That's what I'm talking about. Are you trying the Discord stream?
What else have we got?
Something. How many have we got? Are we up to?
I feel like we're past 20.
Yeah.
The other thing for me with kits is I never get ones with any sponsor.
Okay.
So like plain kits only. I mean, obviously except the manufacturer logo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of why my list is so like national team heavy, because clubs don't do lack of sponsors these days. So,
would you ever get one with a player's name on the back?
Hell no.
Why not?
Absolutely not. No.
because inevitably
Why?
they're going to be convicted of a crime later in life.
Yeah, let's just not do that.
Yeah, you do go. I bought the Ezra one at the beginning of the season. I'd never done this before. But I don't know, I just did it on a whim. It was late at night, whatever. And I was pumped. I was like, this is cool. I like this kit. I like Gyökeres Eze. It's a really good, like, feel good story. And then like 2 weeks later, I hear this guy talking about the Bible, and I was like, this is talking about the Bible, like, tends to precede something bad happening. I'm not saying it's related. I'm just saying that when you hear somebody talking about the Bible publicly, it's normally like something else happens. Nothing came out about him, though. Then you see him liking Mason Greenwood's posts and stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Auxerre
So
0304 Gibril Cisse kit with the PlayStation 2 sponsor.
Ooh, yeah. Now that's what I'd get behind. If you're doing sponsors, do some of those.
Pete Hegseth core.
What?
So I think so. I think that must be. I think.
Okay,
I think that must be a comment on the Stars and Stripes. Yeah, it is extremely Pete Hegseth core. Cash Patel core. Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah. The Germany kit, the Italy World Cup kit from World Cup 1990.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
The last time they played.
Man, here we go. Got some people talking
Okay.
about Zimbabwe, which is the thing I wanted to get
Well
onto.
done.
As much as
Successful
possible.
stream for you. Well, we're about to get the second half, Patrick.
Yeah.
Do you believe we will see a second goal? I mean, the end would be nigh.
Maybe a disallowed one. Maybe
Best I could do.
Yeah. Maybe one after the game. When the subs come on and they like take a few shots just to feel like there was a point in them being there. No, all things are possible. It'd be Atleti do kind of feel like they need to go out and try and get something from this game, because Arsenal away, it is a tough game. It's a tough game for anybody. And they've got much more of a chance doing it here than you imagine they would in a next game if, for example, Havertz is back, if, for example, Saka is running at full strength. I mean, the benefit from if Arsenal can get out of here with a win or even a draw, and they've got an hour of rest for guys like Saka and Eze, that I think Arsenal will be delighted with that and will happily take it to the Emirates next week. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think they're the stronger team, and then they'll have home advantage next week. So, yeah, anything but a loss will leave them as the clear favorites. I think the other important thing will also be how they get on against Fulham in the weekend. That's obviously on Saturday, and then the second leg's on Tuesday. So it's all a kind of 3-day turnover thing. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see who plays against Fulham. Again, you'd assume guys like Saka are definitely not doing the full 90, rested to a decent extent. So how much of that can you do in terms of game state? Are you able to get a couple early goals and take it easy? Or is it again another tight game? Fulham won't give anything up easily.
Yeah.
So could well be a tight game, and I think that will have its impact on the Champions League as well. So I think that's going to be one to watch. But yeah, I think for now they would even a 1-1 definitely. I think they'll definitely take a 1-1, then push really for a 2-1 at the risk of obviously conceding themselves. I think they'll be much happier with the draw, and a stronger team at home next week. They'll be confident.
I agree. I mean, to go back to the question then that we were asked earlier about Rice as a 6 and Zubimendi as an 8, I think that in the absence of Uruguay, that's definitely something that Arsenal should have been doing this season. Again, if you're an Arsenal fan or if you're just remotely interested in Arsenal, I do think Billy Carpenter remains like the best person to read on Arsenal. And he has talked a lot this season about the way that you balance your attacking triangles, that you would ideally want a runner and somebody who's more of a one-on-one player, a dribbler. And then you want somebody who's like the kind of controlling, platforming player. And there were times this season when actually it kind of felt like if you need that controlling brain in the right triangle, Zubimendi would be quite a good fit for it. because then you
Yeah.
can have Saka as the dribbler and you can have White as the runner, for example. Or I think Timber can take that instruction. I think if you tell him to be the
Yeah,
runner,
he does. Yeah,
he'll do it.
he does. Yeah.
I think Arsenal could definitely have tried that at different points this season. The other way is just that it makes Arsenal a bit more unpredictable when they are facing a deeper block. Like, you do need to have these occasional runs. You know, these runs forward that teams can't pick up because they're not expecting them. And oh my goodness me, I thought that free kick had gone in. Over from the right hand side, Alvarez. It's a pretty difficult angle into the side netting in the end, but it's yeah. I wonder if Arsenal. I do. It does feel like Zubamendi's instincts in front of goal are better than Arsenal really had any reason to expect. He also is just a bit more nimble than someone like Rice. Like, Rice is a very good player, has a great shot on him, but Rice really does need the space to get a big swing at it, right? And
Yeah.
Zubamendi is happier with little toe pokes. He's got a pretty good leap on him as well. You know, it feels like there's unexplored potential there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen glimpses of that as well, right? I think especially earlier in the season when he got a couple of goals. And yeah, I mean, even early in this game, right? The sort of run he makes and the touch he also gets to bring the ball down, not something you maybe would expect from Rice in that situation. So yeah, he definitely adds a different kind of threat. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a static thing, right? So like, as Rice is the 6 and Zubimendi is the 8. I mean, they can obviously interchange. But I think
Mhm.
for the most part, it has been Zubimendi is always tasked with staying like as the deepest or certainly the most fixed central
Yeah.
midfielder. And I think, yeah, again, so that adding that bit of dynamism, bit of rotation with balance, right? So we're not saying throw Rice up and throw Zubimendi up, have one of them stay back, have the other go up. I think that,
Mm.
yeah, definitely could do more of that. And I mean, he's definitely shown the quality, I think, in these small glimpses of actually being able to have a good threat in just with his where he pops up with his movement and then his ability to just control the ball in those tight spaces and just like release it or even get a shot off. As you say, he's not as good a shooter as Rice, but he has shown that like from around the edge of the box he can at least find the target,
Yes.
and sometimes that's all you need. So yeah, but interesting start this half so far. I think even that free kick was created off like Atleti pressing, so it seems they're gonna be a bit look to be a bit more front-footed in general.
Yeah.
So hopefully that gives us a little something to watch for.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to kind of bait Arsenal out there. Um,
Yeah,
you know, you see them pressing there. You see them playing out from the back there, rather, and trying to lure Arsenal into the box to make space. I think that's a pretty good idea. It feels
yeah.
like Arsenal's jumps have got less crisp as the season's gone on, which is inevitable. To go back to the Rice Zubimendi thing, I think the other thing that Arsenal should be thinking about there is, instead of Rice generally drifting left, if he's going to get forward, I think he should drift right, especially obviously when Eza's playing, because Eza is at his most dangerous coming in to the center from the left. And Rice, we've seen in the past, he's got a great whipped cross. We obviously see that from set pieces. He's got a great whipped cross. He's also got a really good shot across the goal, from the wide positions. Oh,
Oh,
I
there's a
thought that's a big chance there. Atleti
yeah,
had a breakaway through the middle, a couple of mistakes, ended up with Griezmann getting a shot, and then I think the second attempt is blocked over by
yeah.
Gabriel. A very unusual defensive breakdown here from Arsenal, but kind of felt like a confluence of like
I mean,
circumstances.
it all started with sort of long ball out from Oblak to the striker. So I think, yeah, if this is how you're defending against Alvarez, I think they're going to send Sørloth on before long,
Yeah,
and see what he can do, because I
yeah,
imagine he'll get a bit more joy. But
yeah.
yeah,
Go on,
sort of. Now I was going to say obviously that corner did quite go to plan, but Atleti haven't been good at defending corners. They've still been pretty decent at attacking them. I think they're in the top 5 for goals scored and shots from corners in La Liga as well. So obviously Arsenal are amazing in both defending and attacking corners, but Atleti are at least a team to watch in this regard, and they've certainly got good deliveries when Griezmann's in there. Um,
Corner comes in,
Well,
and Atleti are making
not that one.
huge appeals for a penalty here. Given the one we saw given last night, wouldn't be surprised.
If it has hit his hand
it will be
and
given.
it's on target, it will be given 100%.
I don't think it is on target. It's kind of shinned. Oof, dearie me. I mean, it comes off the ground. It's going wide for sure. It hits White's hand. I don't think he knows anything about it, but his hand is not. It's not near his body at all. I'd be kind of shocked to see it not given.
Yeah, the UEFA rule definitely gives this one. So, yeah, that might well be given.
I mean, I don't think that should be a penalty. Like,
me neither. But
like when we see a comment here, you know, like that. If yesterday was a penalty, this is too. Like, yeah, I think it will be given, but neither one of those should be a penalty. Actually, the one yesterday, I think by the rule, shouldn't have been a penalty.
Yeah, I think that the angle we also first up from behind, it made it look like it hit his hand directly, but that wasn't the case. So
I think this is getting given here.
This one is I think more clear cut.
I mean, it's going straight out, but it's going to get given.
Yeah, and also because there are Atleti players behind as well, so like it's not sort of guaranteed to go nowhere. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think look, soft penalty,
2 goals,
soft penalty for each side here. You know, you can't really complain about it, can you?
Multiple goals. I mean, we haven't gotten the second one yet, but like,
yeah, it could be multiple goals in this game. Incredible stuff.
Just the possibility.
Yeah, pretty.
All right, well, that makes things interesting. I think if it goes in, I think Atleti will maybe suddenly when they send Sörloth, they'll go for it a bit more. So I think could get interesting and at least a bit more open this game. I mean, regardless if they score or not, but I think Alvarez has been fairly reliable. So
yeah, we saw David Raya there in conference with Arsenal assistant coaches, obviously discussing it. Like, yeah, again, I think if the penalty in the first half, you know, if you're gonna get that one, I think you just got to take this one on the chin. However, I do think that we've seen a lot of penalties in these 2 semi-finals, and just like one of them has been a penalty. You know, like maybe like this penalty. Neither to penalties in this game is a penalty. The Davies one, I think, is worse than either of these two.
By far, yeah.
I mean, this one is definitely, I think, going straight out. It's just going straight out. The other one, I suppose you could debate, but I personally wouldn't. The Davies one, I think, is insane. I just don't get. There's no world in which you can give this. I think this one is a bit softer than the first as well, just because I guess the first is a judgment call. On the other hand, that first one could be given in the Premier League. Like some refs would give it, whereas this second one would never be given in the Premier League.
Probably not. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like, who cares? It's
anyway. 2 goals, Patrick. 2 goals.
2 goals.
Insane.
Spot. Incredible.
Listen,
stuff.
2 goals.
Well, okay. It doesn't really matter. What are we expecting to happen here? Yeah, I guess we're expecting to see Sörloth before long.
Sörloth soon, I hope. And we've got Eze coming on for a record.
Yeah, so that feels like a conserving legs thing rather than any kind of you know, tactical change. Like it's a very transition-y lineup that you're playing there. Like, because if you could bring on Saka. I wonder if we will see Saka in kind of 15
I was wondering that
time.
as well.
Maybe even, he gets 20.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I mean, would you send him on at 1-1? I don't know.
Saka, no.
Yeah, I feel like you save him because you might need him on the weekend, and you certainly want him next week.
He'll get some minutes, I think. You know.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like 10-ish. You know.
Yeah, I think he might get 20. But I think it kind of depends here. You know, like if Arsenal go a goal down, we'll see him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's it. Like if Arsenal go down, we will see Bukayo Saka. Again, I don't think that even 2-1 would be a bad result for Arsenal here. I think it's kind of okay. Like you get out of the Wanda in touching distance. But then I just don't trust Atleti's defense at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Atleti keeping a clean sheet seems. In fact, well, I've forgotten now, but there was a stat in the piece I wrote where they had one clean sheet in 9 games or something. Yeah, I think there's one clean sheet in the last 9 games, which is insane. And that was the first leg against Barca, which obviously they
Against 10
were
men. Pretty lucky.
pretty lucky to get that clean sheet. So, against full 11, they haven't had a clean sheet in 8 games. And the last one was Getafe. Before that, you have to go back to Oviedo. So, these are absolutely horrific teams that
Oh
they're
my
keeping
goodness
clean
me.
sheets against. Well, I think it's definitely opening up more. But yeah, as for the second leg, I agree that I wouldn't trust Atleti's defense, but at the same time, I'm also not sure of how much Arsenal are able to push for that if they're starting a goal down, how much they're able to push from the off and maintain the balance without letting the game go a bit open like this.
Yeah, I don't know
Uh,
if they can maintain the balance. I think they can push quite a lot. Like,
yeah,
this is the
yeah,
thing. I think Arsenal are capable of pushing. They just like don't really like to.
yeah, exactly. And I think that
Deary
it's
me.
that, and
Mistakes.
it's yeah, it's that, and it's also, I think, maybe just not inexperienced to an extent, in the sense that because they aren't used to really going for it in most of the games, they can't easily find that balance. I think that also is another thing I feel about Arsenal with their counter attacking, because if you even saw PSG yesterday, right?
Mhm.
They're not a team that counters often. They hardly have to in the league, and even in the Champions League, like through the league phase, they're dominating most of the games. But
Yeah.
when they do counter, their forwards, they really go for it. They send those runners to support them, and they weren't always good at it. Even, I would say, even last season, but certainly in recent weeks, I think they've gotten pretty good at it. And with Arsenal, I just feel they've never really tried to develop that counter attacking element to a great deal.
No.
And often what you get is those situations like we saw against Newcastle last weekend, right, where there's potential, there's sort of breaks to be had, but the team is simply not used to even trying to go for those, and so you don't see them actually being able to exploit that. I think that's definitely one of the biggest misses for me, in terms of like the ingredients Arsenal are missing within their play style and the way they play. Let's hope this is not too bad an injury for Alvarez. Looks to. Ooh, okay. It's doesn't.
It
It
looks
looks
it
like a
looks
kick to the knee. Um, has he twisted it?
I don't know really.
I, d-
It's
I
kind of
don't.
hard
I
to
hope.
tell. He
Yeah,
was rolling around a lot afterwards,
yeah. But I
which
wonder if that's just the impact or if that's a twist.
mm,
I mean, hopefully it's the impact, so nothing serious.
but he rolled around, he kind of sat up, he rolled around some more. It's hard to know whether what's going on there.
Yeah.
There's not really that
What
much
kind
of
of rolling is that?
yeah, you're trying to work out. You're like, is that okay? He's
There's a
immediately
toilet
pressed
roll as well.
somebody. He looks fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably a let's see if we can get a booking here, as opposed to a
Ouch! My
um
knee is gone.
oh my god, my
Yeah.
knee is gone. He looks completely fine. Again,
Yep.
man, Atleti playing that ball into midfield, just like out from the back. It's not totally blind, but it does feel like Griezmann reads those and
Dangerous business. Yeah.
Griezmann reads those and picks them up, but he's not going to do that all the time. Again, somebody in the chat pointed out, how do Atleti connect to the attack if we see, oh, there's a ball into the box here. Shot for Griezmann. Off the bar. Oh my goodness. That's an incredible tackle there.
Wow.
Is it going to get clear? And oh my goodness, I thought he was going to score. Griezmann volleys it. I guess it's blocked. It's really hard to tell. It comes in so quickly there. Really good spell of pressure here for Atleti. And it all started with Lutman being able to receive the ball completely free between the lines here. Arsenal
Yeah.
not picking up well enough at all.
Yeah.
Again, though,
And
you just look at these
out of build
shots.
up as well.
Again, you look at these shots and you're like, that's what counts as a clear chance in this game. Kind of leaning back, ball behind him through traffic. Like there are a lot of shots like that kind of come back off the bar, and we say, "Oh, that's a chance." But Arsenal's defense doesn't look
And
particularly
they're
sharp.
getting sort of pulled up the pitch by Atleti, and then you're right, like there is a bit of risk in those balls they're playing. But I want to, especially like in the second half, it's definitely been more reward than risk or downside for them. So yeah, I think Arsenal, they've been stepping up a bit against Atleti's build up, but for one, Atleti. So this we saw, yeah, in that City game as well. The Madueke sort of stepping up to press the centre back, leaving the left back. There's been a few instances here where
Yeah.
Oblak has played that chip ball to Ruggeri. Hasn't quite been able to sort of escape up the pitch, but it's at least sort of manipulated Arsenal's block over to that side. And then from there, in fact, even the build up to that Griezmann chance was a chip ball to Ruggeri. They passed it around a bit, managed to escape to the right, and then sort of eventually worked that chance. So that's another element of what's been working for Atleti and not working so well for Arsenal. But yeah, it's definitely been more open after halftime, and Atleti are being able to trouble Arsenal's defense. And yeah, even the set pieces haven't been amazing so far from either side. Really, haven't been
Yeah.
good, to be honest. But it's still building some amount of pressure. So yeah, I think this is at least getting a bit interesting.
We were asked earlier on actually about Arsenal's threat from set pieces and why we think it might have fallen off post Christmas. Do you have a read on that? I mean, like, there's the part of me that always thinks as well, when if Saka isn't fit, then the quality of those deliveries goes
Delivery, yeah,
down. I also think we're now in this stage where a lot of kind of nonsense fouls are getting given here.
yeah,
Where the quality of those deliveries goes down, but I also think we see the quality of delivery waver over the course of the season, right? Players who are tired don't strike the ball as cleanly, and as a result, you're going to get worse connection. We've seen Madueke taking set pieces recently; they haven't been great, but we've also seen some really overhit ones from Rice as well.
yeah.
It just feels like that is something that you kind of expect a bit of at this stage of the campaign. I don't know
Yeah,
if you think anything
I
else.
agree. No, definitely been something in the delivery, but also I want to say their routines, they've also been trying some different stuff which maybe hasn't come off as well. I mean, for one, we aren't seeing that the crowd past the far post all coming in into the 6 yard box when the ball's being delivered. Haven't seen much of that lately, and I think the way that especially worked was with having Gabriel as like a sort of separate in the center of the box and making counter movements to attack some of the deliveries. We haven't seen as much of that lately. Again, some center backs as well, not starting all the games. So some personal questions there too. But they've also tried these short corner routines. Right? Obviously, it got the goal against Newcastle, and I think like there is value in mixing it up. But then there's also, I think, I mean, to be fair, they're probably just trying stuff in that game. But against Southampton, in that FA Cup game, they went short every time, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying some new stuff, but it's not all coming off. So and then obviously all the other stuff you mentioned with deliveries, personnel, all of that also plays a part. Um, but yeah, I think it has been a big issue, right? Because that was the differentiator for them in so many games, especially earlier on the season, where it was like, yeah, we can't create from open play, but all we need is like three corners, and we're almost guaranteed a goal.
Mm.
And we definitely, there isn't that sort of inevitability about them anymore. So yeah, I think I mean, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? Is like Arsenal set pieces were sort of their answer to City's Holland threat, and while City have found other means
Yeah.
when Holland wasn't firing, Arsenal don't really have that because they're kind of like extremely reliant on the set piece situations to even just open the game up before they find their other threats. Anyway, Martinelli is going off.
We've got
Trossard on.
Madueke. We've got the entire front three being replaced here. We've got Jesus,
Yep.
Trossard, and Saka coming on. So that's a really technical front three that
Yep.
we're seeing now. I mean, there's not really a runner there. So it will be interesting to see whether we get more of the midfielders joining the attack. I doubt it, given the game state. But whether Hincapié, for example, can be an overlapper on the
The
left hand
box
side.
presence.
Like that's something that we might want to see here if Arsenal want to go for a goal. At the same time, this may just be we're not pressing as effectively, and we need to find a way to do that. I don't really agree with Aditya here, who says teams have figured out the set piece. I don't really think that's true because Arsenal have kind of run basically 2 set pieces this season, like 2 different kinds of corners. Trossard immediately losing the ball under pressure. Dangerous situation here for Arsenal. Where's it going? Saliba deals with it. You know, it didn't really feel like that set piece was worked out. It felt like Arsenal had plan A, and plan A just worked again and again, and no one ever figured it out. And so they just kept doing
there's
plan
no
A.
easy way to figure that one out, by the way, because it's like there's a whole crowd of serious threats going one way, and then there's Gabriel going the other way, and it's pretty impossible to keep track of everyone in the chaos. So
Yeah.
you know, you can have a plan for it, but it's very, very difficult to consistently execute. So yeah, I think it's definitely not, and in fact, it's a routine we've seen sort of replicated in different ways around the world, by different teams. And yeah, it's not easy to stop when you have like this number of aerial threats and obviously good deliveries to go with them.
Mm-hmm. Really turning into a bit of a scrap out there now. Like, again, you know, Arsenal bringing on these guys, and you can see some of the benefits there of having more technical players. Like you've got Jesus dropping all the way to the right hand side of the defense to help Arsenal play out. Really, I mean, you can't have a long ball being picked up by Griezmann under absolutely zero pressure when he's got
Yeah,
Saliba at his back. I mean, this stuff is crazy. But again, there maybe you're seeing some of the incentives come into play. Like Arsenal might be thinking 1-1, Fulham at the weekend. No, thank you. But now we're in a situation where if Arsenal want to get up the pitch, they're going to have to play it out. Like there is not the long out ball now. So intrigued to see what that kind of means for them as the game goes on. Like it might be better for them to keep the ball on the deck and have less of a basketball match.
yeah.
I think that's generally been true this season. But at the same time, it means that if they lose the ball deep, as Saka has done, as Trossard has done since coming on, then they're going to find themselves in serious trouble. This
Yeah.
is Saka should help them out defensively, though. What you were talking about before with Madueke pressing up and then getting the ball clipped over him by the keeper. Do you think that is a structural thing? Because we have seen it with Martinelli and we have seen it with Madueke. Or do you think that it is that Saka, who we all acknowledge is kind of an elite defensive attacker, do you think that he maybe reads it a little bit better?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's a common pattern we see from many teams, that the winger jumping up to support the lone striker. But yeah, as especially in like a setup. So like there's multiple ways to go about it, right? So like Liverpool, for instance, they always have Salah up alongside the striker because they know he's not going to track back a great deal.
Yeah.
So that's the most straightforward one where you know, okay, so he's not going to be back there, so we need someone else. Like we need like a Szoboszlai or whoever to cover. The way Arsenal do it is a bit more sort of hybrid, right? Where obviously the number 10 is like in the block, the one alongside the striker, but in the press, it'll often be the ball side winger. So in their case, it's a good deal up to the player in terms of being able to identify the right moment to make that jump. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think probably Saka is better than Madueke at identifying those moments. Although to be fair, I mean, Madueke has still, on the whole, I think in this game been fine at or was fine at that, because when those strip balls were coming in, he was able to get back and apply enough pressure on Rogeri to
Yeah.
prevent him from like running away or cleanly carrying away. So I think like he was fine. Obviously, there was that. I mean, that one moment of Martinelli will, I guess, be scrutinized a great deal because of what it led to. But I mean, those kinds of things happen from time to time. Like there's, I mean, the players make some mistakes. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there's like a massive structural issue in that. That's just like an associated risk of the approach.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think definitely someone like Saka and even Martinelli. To be fair, he was on the right in that game, but on the left, I think he does a very disciplined job defensively for the most part. So I mean, obviously that's why he starts so many games in terms of how much he tracks back. But even higher up,
Yeah.
I think he does a pretty good job. So yeah, I think that's the one thing we can't fault the Arsenal wingers for.
Hmm. What are you making of these some of the changes here that seem to have given Atleti a bit of an advantage? Okay, a bit of a scrap there. Nkapie's gone over. Players continuing with Arsenal down a man. Was quite hard to see what exactly happened, but
Yeah, I feel like 4
oh,
people going for the ball.
wow, Lookman managed to get away from White there and pretty much had a free shot from the center of the area. Arsenal have given up an awful lot of shots in this game.
Yeah,
Atleti,
the
it does
back
feel
four.
like like what's a foul in this game is quite hard to predict. You know, I'm seeing a lot of guys like their Atleti players bundled over Eberici Eze. It was not given as a foul against Eze. The Atleti player is still down. I'm wondering if in a second the ref is going to stop play and say, okay, there's a free kick or something. I really
Yes,
don't know.
they definitely want it, but
Griezmann,
that's not a foul either.
what is Griezmann saying? Griezmann seems to be saying go backwards because we got a guy injured. Absolutely no idea what's going on. Play is continuing though. The game is still happening. There's nothing.
I think they're. Oh, he's got up now. He's on his feet.
This is a perfect
Is that Alvarez?
encapsulation.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's Alvarez again. This is a perfect encapsulation of this game, by the way. It's like the game is still happening, but kind of not.
Okay, they're playing now.
Like you're literally wasting your own time in a home game in the Champions League while you're playing. Just knock it out and get him treatment.
Wow.
Yeah, somebody's pointed out Saka's been slipping a lot. Like that is definitely true.
Metropolitan turf overwatered, as often the case.
Oh, ball on through the middle here. Here's Lookman.
Yeah, but
he's fallen over as well. Absolutely ridiculous. It does feel like Arsenal are struggling to get to get kind of safe ball progression in the way they were when they had Odegaard early on. Several times they've had slips here. A couple of times those have been allowed to. Atleti have been allowed to continue attacking. Other times they haven't. But you know, again, when some of them are given and some of them are not, you kind of are like, this is going to be costly. Well, why do you feel like Arsenal are suddenly struggling to play out, and Atleti seem to be getting a lot of joy up against the Arsenal backline? They've got. It seems like they've got this narrower attack now. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a tough one. I mean, I think obviously Odegaard missing and being that sort of third option in midfield and often a free option is a big miss. But I think today they've done a lot of this. Well, there goes Alvarez again.
Alvarez is down. Arsenal are playing on. I mean, but it's been
fair enough.
Everyone's been kind of playing on quite a bit. I don't really know. And now are Atleti playing on? No, the Atleti are putting it out this time. And now they're complaining that Arsenal didn't put it out, having not put it out before. I just don't understand. Alex Baena is coming on.
Interesting.
A strange season for him.
It's. I mean, I think definitely with Lookman coming in, he's lost the sort of even pathway into the team, but definitely didn't deliver as you'd expect, and that's obviously why they brought Lookman in. It didn't deliver as you'd expect through the first part, and I mean, to be fair, I think what we've seen from Lookman, it's clear that he and his sort of profile suits the role better. But to go back to what you were saying about Arsenal and the build up, and even I think generally, in fact, the back four today hasn't looked nearly as solid as I mean, of course, to be fair, their defense hasn't generally looked as solid lately. It has looked a bit shaky, but especially today, the back four hasn't looked solid at all. I mean, as you're saying, like there's Griezmann bringing down long balls. Like this sort of shorter front two being able to pose real problems. It's not an encouraging sign. And then obviously those moments where Lookman is beating White with his off-ball movement, getting I think he's had.
Another penalty has just been given. Another penalty has just been given. Sorry to interrupt you, Neel.
No worries. Yeah, there we go.
It looked like maybe Eze got to the ball just before.
I think he got the ball first. Yeah,
just before the defender went over the defender's leg. A third penalty in this game.
Excellent.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I mean, if it goes in, we're a third of the way to last night, Neel. A third of the way.
Yeah, they're basically what they're doing is they're passing the ball around for a bit.
Sorry,
and then they're having a stat. Oh, who's he saying? Oh,
No, he's booked. Hanchko,
Yeah,
is that must be for dissent because the
dissent, I
foul
reckon.
doesn't deserve a card at all. It's like completely
It's
innocuous.
almost a 50-50. Yeah, it's just he
Yeah,
got there second.
that does look like Hanchko maybe just like kind of goes into his midfoot here. We're gonna get a better look at
Ooh,
it.
yeah,
I guess that's always going to be given as a
yeah,
pen. It's not a lot of
yeah.
contact, but you are going to get that as a
I mean,
pen.
there's absolutely no way that's overturned, I reckon. So, yeah.
It would be kind of insane if that was overturned, given the two that we've seen given tonight, and also the fact. Also, I feel like now he's booked Hanchko.
Yeah.
He's kind of got to be like, oh god, like I can't not give this.
But yeah,
Mike Goodman pointed out on Blue Sky that it's very interesting to see how badly Arsenal have been handling pressing recently.
yeah,
Given that in the early stages of the Arteta project, it felt like quality on the ball was like the number one thing that Arteta recruited for. You know, when he went out and got guys like Tomiyasu and stuff, it felt 100% like, can these guys pass? Can these guys pass? And then maybe after they got beaten by Man City, 4-1 that time, it felt like they really upped the physicality of the side. They were like, right, we need
when I lose
ground
this
eaters,
one,
physical ground
I
eaters.
am upset.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, like even when you think about this season, they definitely were a lot better at. Or well, maybe we're noticing it more lately, but I feel like they were a lot better at even playing out against at least high blocks or pressure earlier on in the season, just in terms of being able to move the ball forward quickly and reliably. They're checking this one as well.
Yeah, they're checking this one, which I'm quite surprised about. I'll just be
Yeah.
unless they feel that maybe he gets the. I just don't see
Uh,
how this doesn't get given.
I mean, maybe the fact that he didn't like the referee thought he stepped on him and he didn't step on him. Did he not step on him? I don't know anymore.
He kind of his foot kind of
Like,
slides down the front of his foot, but it's not.
yeah, he
It's
doesn't like
actually
step
really.
on his.
Yeah, he doesn't like step on his foot, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
and I guess the argument might be: is Eza already going? I don't think he is already going. Eza
Say like he
spells it
doesn't
for
have
sure.
control of the ball. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like the one before was going out for a goal kick. You're just like, I don't know.
What do I
Like,
know?
this one to me is the most penalty of the three that
Yeah,
we've
of
seen.
the three. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I guess with that in mind, it's gonna be
It's
overturned.
not going to be a penalty.
Oh my god, he's actually overturning it. He's actually overturned it. This is insane. What is happening in this
Never
game?
let them know your next move.
I just don't understand what is happening.
Well, I guess we get well, I don't know. Did we get a bit more entertaining last 10 minutes? I don't know.
I'm baffled.
Does he like? Okay, I guess so that yellow was for dissent because he's not taking it back. So yeah.
Okay. Well.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Like stuff is happening. Things are happening. We were talking about Arsenal's security on the ball.
Yes.
There we are.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say like even earlier on the season they were playing forward like quicker and more securely, especially sort of going out via the wings. So like goalkeeper to centre back to fullback up, or even like one touch through midfield. I don't know what it is now. Is it like pressure because I feel like I'm forgetting the game now, but well, I think maybe it started with that Man United game when there were a couple of errors, but since then maybe there's like just more shakiness, like under pressure among the players, and that's kind of cascaded into just them not being even confident playing out much. But like today, for instance, we've seen a bit of a different thing, especially in the second half, where Rice has been very deep in many build-up sequences.
Yes,
With
I mean, right now he's splitting the centre backs, right?
Exactly,
he's done that most of the game.
And the centre back splitting, exactly. So it's I mean this they didn't start this way. This has come in the second half, and maybe this is sort of a way to combat Atleti's front two. Having the centre back split wider, so that way I mean, in the moments they are in a front two, because obviously they often drop into a 5-4-1, but in those moments you can get the centre backs time and space to carry up, as they were often doing. But yeah, like on the whole, like earlier on, it seemed they didn't even have many options, right? Like when it was deeper, so with the goalkeeper involved, Atleti stepping up in that more of a 4-4-2 to press. It was the two centre backs split, and then Rice really deep in the middle, but like in a bit of a dangerous position, right? Like with his back to goal, with forwards fairly close to him, not in a super secure place to receive. And I mean, like he's fine enough if you have a one-touch ball for him to play, but you don't really have too many midfielders around him. Fullbacks aren't really sort of there for like a sideways ball either. So yeah, I don't know what's up with the structure either today. Um, I mean, I guess now they're just wanting to commit more bodies forward. It looks like both the fullbacks are pushing up in field, pretty much a front five. You've got so like the back three with Rice dropped in, Zubimendi in defensive midfield, as a sort of drifting in to connect when he wants, and yeah, both
Ben
fullbacks
White
dropping.
playing number 10.
Yep.
Oh,
Just
here we go.
as you draw it up.
Ball in the box. Oh, look nice actually. Like maybe the only little bit of technical interplay we've seen from Arsenal tonight, resulting in a pretty easily blocked shot for Trossard on the turn on his wrong foot. But interesting that it ended up in Ben White just running through in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, and that was from like a counter press as well, I think. So yeah, it looks like they're going for it. To be fair, in these last 5 odd minutes, which is, well, I guess good to see.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, it does leave these counter chances at least for Atleti. So hey, we'll see the ball move between different thirds of the pitch, maybe even multiple times.
Yeah,
every 2 minutes. So
it could go up and back, but not through.
No, let's not get too greedy here. You know,
I guess this just means, you know, like you do get to defend with a 3 this way when the ball is lost, which the ball has been fairly consistently lost. No foul there. Just don't know what's happening anymore. Yeah, so I guess maybe that's it. Maybe they also think that Rice I was going to say would do less running. Yeah, but as I said that, he decided to go on a little adventure and ran through a couple of challenges. So if that is the plan, somebody should probably tell Declan
he hasn't got it.
Yeah. Arsenal have given up a lot of shots tonight, you know. I think it's something like 16, 17 at the moment, which is an awful lot, and quite a lot of XG as well. I would probably say that the XG, which last time I looked was about 2.2 against, I think that probably slightly overrates the quality of some of the shots that we've seen. You know, so like Lookman, it's going to be a footed shot in the center of the box. That's always going to be high XG. In practice, the ball's a bit under his feet. He's only just getting away from White. He's got pressure coming in. He doesn't really have time for much backlift. Like, that's probably not quite as good a chance as XG might think it is. But undeniably, Arsenal have given up quite a lot, and certainly volume, which isn't something that we regularly see from them.
And yeah, not amazing quality chances, but decent quality chances. I think especially Lookman's had a couple, you know, like relatively, like certainly by Arsenal standard, presentable chances. So yeah, it's been a surprising one.
Mosquera in the half space. Oh my good God. Mosquera has a shot from the edge of the box. Now we're fucking talking. This is football.
Total football, man. Look at that.
Mosquera again. Mosquera playing the Marino role. Why do we not see it? You know what?
Yeah,
it's actually sad.
Starting strike.
Mikel Marino, Arsenal's best striker, arguably.
Unironically, there was a point in the season where I mean, yeah, he's been injured since then, but like I want to say around November, I was convinced he was the best. Certainly for like a certain kind of game where you want him in the box, he was reliable.
Arsenal beat Bayern Munich, you know, with Mikel Marino playing up front.
Exactly.
Arsenal handily beat Bayern Munich. So and
the evidence is undeniable.
Yeah, interesting one. It's a pity that we haven't seen him play a little bit more. Some people talking about betting. We were asked before the game whether we had any bets on this game. I do not. I doubt you do, Neel.
No, I've never bet on a football game in my life. But I think someone said they put the house on a goalless draw earlier. So my commiserations to
commiserations to you. Unless you know, like pens don't count.
Real goals. Draw.
Yeah, real goals like that should. Are we putting
house on that?
Look, I don't think that we're putting shade on Marino. I'm not trying to put shade on Marino. I genuinely think
No,
Marino
I
is.
unironically think he would, like, I'm not joking. I unironically think he was the best striker around November times. Certainly for the games where you need someone in the box.
He's
Uh,
genuinely a good hold-up player, obviously. He's an excellent ball striker. Excellent ball
yeah.
striker. Like he's one of the cleanest ball strikers in the side. If you get him the ball, if you get him the opportunity to have a shot, he invariably gets a good quality shot away. It's
And he
actually
wins
remarkable.
headers. He wins headers in the box.
Yeah.
He like
He
gets his head
moves
to.
well in the box.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
So,
the header against Brentford, I think, right? The clipped ball in from
oh
White,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
where he just like makes like your classic striker run across his
Yeah.
marker and gets the shot away and scores a goal. I mean, it is astonishing stuff. Big shot with Rice from range. My God, I thought I'd gone in for a minute. I was like, that it wasn't even a good shot. um,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting one. Yeah, as Rishi has put in the chat, you can check out variance betting if you want to get access to Ted's bets. The fact that Ted has been really like sweating blood to keep those up for people this season. Like what he's
Yeah.
been running off to Montpellier to try and like rebuild a women's team, and then he's just like, oh Jesus, I've got to write betting
Wait a minute.
picks on the plane.
Championship.
So yeah, I mean, if you've been enjoying those this season, I think really do let Ted know because he's been going through the ringer to make it happen. I think Gabriel Jesus has looked a little bit sharper in his last couple of games. Sharper than, fully cooked, I guess.
Injured. Yeah, like
Yeah.
1.5 leg Gabriel Jesus. I would hope so.
But he is
yeah,
just a different proposition,
Yeah, yeah, and I think he gives you again some sort of dynamism, right? Like he's moving around, and he's
Yeah, sure.
making intense runs. He's trying to run at speed. So, uh, I mean, yeah, I I don't know, to be fair, how much you would like value all of those things in this specific situation, like against Atleti's lowest block.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in when the game does open up, I think, yeah, there's definitely value in having him. But yeah, it's been interesting. So last 5 minutes, I think Atleti have decided 1-1 is good.
Yep.
Back in the day when they decided that was the result. You could put the house on that.
Ooh, that's a really
Now you
bad loss
can't
for
do that.
Meza there. I
Yeah.
think you should probably take the yellow there, my friend. Yeah, this is the thing. It's all very well to have, okay, this time Saliba's going to go forward. This time Rice is going to go forward and rotate that stuff. But then if Chiesa gets boxed out by three guys,
Yeah.
you might just find that
Not
everybody's
ideal.
gone forward and you're in a bit of trouble. We've got about 6 minutes left of injury time here. Neel, has anything surprised you about the game tonight? Has anything stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Arsenal's defending, and just generally the back four, centre backs as well. Not just in terms of the shots they gave up in the box, and the general chances they gave up, but also the amount of times they allowed Atleti to like get the transition after the long ball from the keeper.
Mm,
Like especially given Sherlock's not even starting or well, hasn't even played so far. You definitely think that like exactly what happened in that sequence a few seconds ago is what you want to see the vast majority of the time. But whereas there was a period in the game where I think especially after halftime where Atleti consistently got those transitions, and even throughout they certainly got the odd one in like a couple attempts.
mm.
And so yeah, that's definitely been the most surprising because like Atleti don't have Sirlot, they don't have that big presence up top, and yet you're letting them get those second balls and even win some of the duels outright, very surprisingly. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think this Atleti have undeniably had the better of the chances in this game.
Yep.
I mean, like,
Yep.
there's the debatable. I guess if the penalty had been given, then it would be fairly
Well,
even.
definitely they've created the better chances. Let's say
Exactly.
that.
So from that point of view, you give credit to the game plan. Like it has what. Well, maybe you give credit to the game plan. Maybe you also say, well, Arsenal have
Yeah.
made some pretty consistent
By their
mistakes,
standards,
on
a
the ball.
bad defensive performance.
Yeah,
By
really
their
bad defensive
standards.
performance. Ball whipped to the back post here. Chance for Atleti. and Arsenal hook it away. Yeah, I mean, it gives the impression that stuff is happening in this game, but not really. I am intrigued to see what this looks like at the Emirates. Like, do Arsenal come out and do they try and blitz? Do they just try and grind and see if they can nick a goal, knowing that Atleti are kind of not that great? Like, I do think it's worth trying to blitz them a little bit. Like, you can do some of that in stages because
I just don't think it happens because of the Premier League title race.
Yeah.
Because like there'll be legs
Uh-oh.
definitely a bit tired after the Fulham game.
Yes, that one could be tiring for them.
And there's West Ham. I mean, it is a few days after, but West Ham are next, and that's definitely a game you have to be up for, because they're gonna go for it. So yeah, not an idea. I mean, like if it was Burnley, let's say next, then you could maybe just commit a bit and be like, yeah, man, we'll beat Burnley. But because it's West Ham, you have to keep that somewhere in the back of your mind as well. So
yeah, they will really hope that they get Havertz back for that one. I mean, it looks like Calafiori's on the bench tonight.
Yeah,
Saka is clearly some way away from full fitness, I would say, watching this.
Maybe get a half out of him next week.
Yeah, if you get more out of those guys, then that's going to help you an awful lot against West Ham, certainly.
Yeah.
There we go, Saka. There's interesting football. And now Arsenal got an opportunity to build an attack in the final third, going out wide to Nkapie, back in, just fired at Eze, and Nkapie can't get through there. He's been getting forward more, as we kind of talked about. He's really, it's been his job to take that left flank with the lineup that you've got now.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was also doing that for the period where Martinelli was popping up in the half space and in the 10. So yeah, we did that for almost a half now. At least it gives you something different, and in those kinds of moments when you are able to switch it, it's always better to have the overlapping fullback, run onto the ball with momentum and get into the box to play a ball in like that. So a slight bit of promise.
How would you set Arsenal up for the return leg? I guess obviously there's stuff we don't know there about who's fit and who's not. But for example, if you wanted, would you? It looks like all the left backs are going to be available. Like, what do you think is the tempting option there?
I think if all are available, I would go for Calafiori, because like in terms of the more threatening Atleti winger, certainly on the ball, is Lookman. Simeone is going to be a sort of off-ball runner, and that is a threat. But out of possession, he's dropping into that back five, so he's not the main counter threat. And so I think you get someone like Calafiori, as you said earlier, making those dynamic runs, adding that bit of unpredictability, maybe even getting into the box, and that's to some extent, you hope, not replaces, but at least gives you a little bit of alternative in place of like the striker you want in there. Obviously, the other question is Havertz, how fit he is, how many minutes can you get out of him. I feel like if you can get a half out of him, I don't know, would you start him or would you bring him on? I would be tempted to start him, especially with the way they're building out today. Like right now, I would be like much more happy if I have that option of, if my build-up's not working, a reliable striker to go long to, rather than Gyökeres. But well, there's full time.
There is full time. 1-1. I think there was. I enjoyed the game, kind of. It was.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse for sure.
It was contested. It was physical. I don't know, man.
It was a battle.
Yeah, look. This. I think it's good to have different kinds of football on offer, and like realistically, it at least means that whatever we get in the final is going to be different.
Yeah.
We've got an all defense semi, we've got an all attack semi, so we'll get a final that maybe blends the two. I think that Arsenal played quite badly on an individual level, I'm not sure there was that much wrong with them overall. Like, it wasn't like,
Yeah,
oh, there's this huge thing that's exploitable. I just thought that they
there are
kind of made too
mistakes.
many errors in
Yeah.
deep, build up. So if they don't do that next week, then it probably looked quite a lot better for them.
Yeah, it would be
uh,
nice if you stopped giving away the ball, and as well, yeah, I think that and the defenders dueling as well. Yeah, you improve those things, and that definitely. I mean, I think yeah, most of Atleti's attacking threat was in those transition moments. So if you're more reliably able to win duels, at least against Griezmann and Alvarez, that'll get you somewhere.
yeah, yeah. I think the interaction of this and the Premier League makes the next leg so unpredictable from a team selection point of view. You know, is Arteta going to, because against Fulham, for example, it would be really tempting to get Odegaard and Eza on the pitch at the same time. But
Yeah.
he may think we just can't afford to do that, because if one of these guys, we need to be able to bring one of these on at 60 minutes and give the other one some rest. I really don't know like what decision he's going to make. I agree that I would probably do Calafiori there. I think you could do Lewis Skelly. If you do Lewis Skelly,
I
I'd
don't
be
know.
inclined. It's the kind of thing you do if you were going to play like Madueke left wing. You know, like
Hmm.
otherwise you're going to end up with a far too narrow a team. I think there's just going to be like no left flank really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I also feel like Lewis Kelly, you would want if you need more progression, or someone to break the game open in the middle third, which I think with Atleti, like we saw clearly, like there's sequences where if you're clean in your build up, you are going to be able to push them back, right? So as long as you don't make those errors, it's not like they're going to have a mid block that they want to push out of too much, and certainly away I think they'll be dropping back into low block even more.
Mm.
So then I do think the Calafiori's unpredictability and presence give you a bit more than Lewis Skelly. So yeah, I think for this game I'd be tempted to go for Calafiori.
Well, we've got a couple more questions here just before we get out of here. Murky has asked for, can we get a prediction for the Man United versus Liverpool derby? Already moving on from tonight's game mentally. Yeah,
I
what do
think
you
that
think?
game does not matter at all. I mean, it,
Mm,
it matters obviously for like the rivalry and all that, but like league table wise, does not matter. I don't know, man. Uh, 2-1 Man United. Why not? I'm just saying numbers.
yeah, I I don't really trust either of those teams. I think
Yeah.
Man United were not great against Brentford. Like they really weren't. They've had
No.
some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I might go 2-2. I'm not.
Yeah. That was my other thought. Yeah. Could be.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. You guys made this game much more entertaining. I hope that you enjoyed our watch along as well. To be fair, imagine trying to listen to us talk about last night's game. Like it would have been total gibberish. So, if
Like, oh, there's a
anything,
goal. There's another goal.
yeah. So when Aditya says not the best match for the watch along party, I'm like, kind of is the best match for the
Yeah.
watch
Like,
along.
like, do you think at halftime we would have gotten our like kit wish lists out in that game?
We'd have just been like fanning ourselves, taking electrolytes at half time. Like, we've got time to recover. Anyway, another week until we get to watch these games all over again, or watch the reverse fixture of this while being on your phone. Obviously, as well, we've got more content coming out on the transfer flow. I'm recording with Ted tomorrow for the public midweek episode, and Neel and my episode on Patreon will be available later in the week. A few things coming up as well. We've obviously got the Transfer Flow conference. You can find links to that through all the normal channels. Thank you so much for being here. And we will obviously be talking about the final once we have that set up in a week's time. We really appreciate you, and let us know if you have any thoughts about this. You can always get in touch with us through all the normal channels. You can comment on our videos. You can even email us. You can get at me or the Transfer Flow on social media, and we will take the feedback on board so that we can make these as good as possible for you at the World Cup. Neel, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure, and yeah, I think definitely the right game to watch along.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.